Welcome to Your Time to Thrive with personal fitness coach Jason Stevenson.
Hey everybody, welcome to Your Time to Thrive with Jason Stevenson.
Hey, I'm getting better at that finger thing. What's up?
Not much, dude. We took last week off because you had better things to do.
I know, I'm sorry. Priorities, wife priorities.
What was the better thing that you had to do?
We got married, dude.
Congratulations.
Marriage is what brings us together today. Thank you. Thank you very much. As is most people's lives got turned upside down a little bit within the recent COVID experience. Our original plans were for 11/11/2020. And so we stuck with it. We just had to kind of change our plans a little bit. We had an amazing week. Both my wife and I are big fans of Aruba, and it's a special place for both of us. So we went to Aruba and we had a unforgettable experience. We did an overnight stay at a private island, 5-course amazing dinner, and fed flamingos and watched the stars come out and swam around the ocean with nobody around us, and woke up at sunrise and exchanged our vows. It was pretty memorable, actually. We had a great time.
You're so fancy. That's amazing.
You know me, man. I'm a carpe diem. If you're gonna do it the way you want to. There's a lot of pomp and circumstance and hullabaloo that goes into celebrations in our lives nowadays. But the truth is, for me especially, given where both of us have been in our lives and what we've gone through in our lives, this was about us. And any relationship that you have is truly between just the two people that are involved in that relationship, whether it's a business relationship or not. And I think a lot of times we get lost in the social media influence and involvement, and we got to share everything with everybody. It's not necessary. It certainly is part of it. And we certainly have plans when everything changes again and we can have more than 10 people in one room. Our plans are to do what our original plan was to have a big celebration of dancing and food with the people that matter the most to us. But the truth is, for us, the actual marriage in and of itself is her and I, and it was great. Honestly, we had a really good time with it. So very good stuff. And it kind of led me to this topic today that we're going to talk about, because we were talking about being conscious of how many plates that we have spinning. And both of us tend to be workaholics in the sense that we focus a lot of our time and our energy on what we do for a living. And it is rare for us to not take any breaks to be able to maintain our sanity. And it just came down to just, you know what, let's just do it. Let's just go. We're gonna jump and just go and escape for a little bit and get away. And we jumped through the hoops that are required by the Aruban government, which is all kinds of red tape of negative tests and prove. But outdoors most of the week. We did some amazing diving with an amazing dive master friend of ours down there, private dives, and spent most of the week outside. Felt very safe. They have lots of restrictions given that they're an island and that their economy is very dependent on tourism. So felt very safe down there. It's good to be back. It's good to be back and focused on our normal life, because as much as that's our normal life too, there's not much normalcy to that yet. A long-term plan for us is definitely to be tropical and on a beach and being able to do excursions and dive whenever we want to. But for the time being, we're able to take advantage of what we're both really good at and what we both enjoy doing, which is what we do for a daily living. So I get to share that with my clients and get to share that with my friends and people and continue to do that.
That's amazing.
Thank you, sir.
What are we talking about today?
Just say no. And not in the reference that has been publicized for decades as far as the drugs are concerned. That's a whole nother level of conversation, but more about the plate conversation, like we were talking about last time. that the balls that we're juggling, and in the metaphorical sense, are our choices in our life that we undertake. We have to pay attention to the level at which we're focusing on individual tasks and individual relationships and individual topics. But I think what we also find challenging is to discern what is important enough to say yes to, and then what is important enough to say no to. Because for a while we were worried about taking this trip. We'd planned a much different type of trip before, and fear got the best of me and led me for a while in that. And I was worried about not being able to get back in the country, what safety standards and protocols in other countries are going to be available, what's going to go on in this country politically during the same time that we were planning a wedding. And I decided to say no to that fear and allow for an opportunity and an experience that neither one of us will ever forget, and that we're really grateful we did. So it led me to think about this topic a little bit this week, which is to say no in our real life and our day-to-day life to those things that are getting in our way. We tend to want to be people pleasers.
Mm-hmm.
We tend to want to make everybody okay, or make everybody happy, or to take extra sessions in my world that get me up early or keep me out late, or that interrupt my workout time or my meditation time. We say yes to people that need us, that ask for our help and our assistance in things. We say yes to our social media addictions and our food addictions and our habits that take us away from our goals. So without deterring from that really good thing, to be a yes person is a really good thing. To be open to helping people and to be open to being a part of this world in a way that helps change other people's lives is really important. But it's also important, like we talked about last time, to focus on your self-care. And that means saying no every once in a while to some things, so that your self-care, so that your reality, so that your life, the things that are important to you, don't get sidetracked. I mean, I know you can commiserate, Ben, because you've become almost a slave, and not a bad sense, but to what you do for a living. You know, that what has become part of your normal day-to-day is taking care of other people's needs. And then we've talked about how that's gotten in the way of some of your goals. I know it gets in the way of my goals.
It does. Yeah. This is a list of this is my to-do list for today.
Yes.
42 things long. It was 29 things long an hour ago, and now it's 42 things long, which I think proves your point. Yeah, no, I definitely say yes to everything for everyone at all times. You're not supposed to?
Didn't you watch the Jim Carrey movie? Haven't you learned the life lessons of
Liar, Liar?
No, Yes Man.
No, I've never seen that movie.
Oh, then write this down. Put that number 43 on the list. Watch Yes Man.
All right, I'll do that today.
Yeah, today, right in the middle of all that time that you have.
Watch Yes Man.
Honestly, I would put it on your list as far as a movie. It's a great movie. It's really well done. Jim Carrey's a very authentic character to believe in. But the basic principle of it is that he says no to a lot, and then he learns to say yes through a symposium of self-help stuff, and he takes it too far. Is basically the narrow description of the movie is, don't take that yes man thing too far, because it doesn't end well. You can't say yes to everybody, to everything, and expect to subsist or sustain for long. You just can't. You know, it's you have found yourself in that place. We've had this conversation now for a couple of weeks that you feel like your work schedule is exhausting and is keeping you up late and keeping your days busy, to the extent that you're not getting in the time and the energy and the self-care that you know you need.
Oh, so for sure.
Is it working to say yes to everybody?
No.
And that brings us to today's point.
It's not that, like it's working is how do you define working, right? Like,
Mm.
so is it working in the sense that things are going well business wise? No. Like
See?
it is, but there's so much, so like there's such a finite amount of time that you have, right? So to do things like here's a great example. I started a show when the pandemic started called the Social Distance Show.
Good example.
And I did it every single day for 2 months. And I thought, now when we started it, I started it literally like the first day when people weren't even shut down yet.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll do this until it's over. I'll do this every day until it's over, and we'll just be a few weeks, maybe a month or so. It'll be fine. After like a week, I was like, this is gonna be forever. But I kept doing it, and it was great. I loved it, and then I did it at like roughly the same time every night, and then people started hiring me to do it for them more, and they wanted the time slot that I had for one night a week. And I was like, okay. So I gave up Wednesdays to the lieutenant governor for 7 p.m. on Wednesdays. I was like, yep, you want to pay me for that? For the lieutenant governor's office? Yeah, absolutely. It wasn't even before that. It was a guy running for president. And then somebody else was like, hey, uh, yeah, that 7 p.m. slot's great. I'm running for Congress. Can I do that? And then somebody else was like, and then before long, I was doing it one day a week, and then I wasn't doing it anymore because I was doing everything for other people.
Yeah.
And I and then I started my own. See, no, this is going to sound bad because I love doing what I'm doing with all of this stuff, but I started doing my own morning show one day a week, and then somebody else wanted to hop onto that, and I'm like, okay. And then I started doing it with that, and I'm like, I've given away everything. I've given away everything, and it's been good, like financially, and connection wise and confidence wise, and just being busy. Like I've probably gone the least crazy out of anybody during the pandemic because like my life has improved for the most part. But I, literally it got to the point where like a couple weeks ago I was like, I want to bring the social distance show back. Everything's happening again. Like I want to bring the social distance show back. And it occurred to me, when am I going to do it? Like I literally, like I'm like, I want to do a morning show with somebody, and then I was like, I can't do Wednesdays because I have church. I can't do Tuesdays because I have a different morning show. I can't do Thursdays. What am I doing? Like when do I have time? And this is just myself, like artistically. This isn't even like getting a workout in or going for a walk, both of which are on my list today.
Good.
So it's you just like you give away the thing that you want to do to say yes to somebody or to say yes to a good opportunity, but then you gotta miss the thing that you liked doing yourself.
Yeah.
For yourself. I haven't posted anything real on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok in months.
Yeah.
Not only that, I don't check them anymore, which is really weird to me.
It's okay.
Because I know I'm happy about it. like personally, like I don't care that I'm not on it like a zombie. But but that was a big part of like like a year ago, I was like preaching to you, like, and I'm on it. Like I'm on. Hey guys, I'm
Yeah.
on it all the time. But I'm not. I'm on a third party thing right now. Like I'm on a platform that puts me on Facebook and YouTube, and I'm not interacting with anybody on those things. I haven't put up like a funny post in a while. I haven't like looked at. I don't know what other people are doing. It's all very interesting. I have no time for. I literally like I have written down here like make sure you play with Braden today.
That's great. I love the
Yeah,
fact that you have a list like that. Can I help you with one thing right there?
sure.
My big suggestion, and it's the power of words. We have very powerful self-speak and self-talk that we've talked about, and you've said it a couple of times. I don't have time. You have time. You have time. You aren't making time for the things that are really important to you because you've prioritized other things.
Right.
And here's the message for today. That can be okay, but do it consciously. You know, we've talked about that deliberate or that the repeatable maintainables. Whether it relates to your fitness and your movements, or your food choices, or your lifestyle choices, or just your self speak, it would behoove you and definitely benefit you long term to be deliberate with your self speak and the way that you talk about your life.
Mhm.
My mom says, speak reality into your life. Say the things that you want to occur. Say the things that are positive for your life. Because it's the same thing we've always talked about with that, like the glass half empty, glass half full. You can accept fully that you see the half empty glass. It's a non-negotiable. We can sit around the table and discuss our perspectives and our opinions about the glass, but it is literally half full and half empty at the same time. That polar reality always exists. It is your choice to bring into your world, your universe, your environment, the perspective that you see from that. So you can see the half empty portion. Nobody doesn't. We're not ignorant of the fact that it's half empty. We're just choosing to then speak the positive, choosing to say, I am making time for these things in my life. I have enough time for everything that I want in my life, because the truth is, we choose. You choose. You're choosing that. And it's a celebratory thing, honestly, that you're off the social media interaction a little bit, because that's not a bad thing. Having come from a place of an entire week where I didn't jump on Facebook, I didn't check Instagram, I wasn't on any social media for an entire week, was amazing. I just don't understand how people can sit on a beach on an island in the Caribbean and check Facebook. But that's a personal choice. People want to choose to spend their time doing whatever they want to. Just own it. Own that you're saying no to yourself for other things, and then you can work with that. You can if you own deliberately choosing those other priorities right now, then you can also own changing it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So say with me, Ben. I have time for all that I want.
I have time for all that I want.
You do, dude. You do. 24 hours in a day, man. Only 42 things on that list. 43. Take away an hour and a half. The movie's worth it.
I guarantee you it's not. Not.
You haven't seen it. No judgments yet.
Maybe I'll watch it during my workout.
Are there cliff notes for this?
There you go.
Can you watch?
Yeah. I'll watch the trailer. I'll get the gist.
There you go.
So, I wanted to talk about something that was a little bit off of the topic of this, but maybe it's not.
Go ahead.
Which was, last year, I thought about this yesterday, because obviously, like, we are heading towards, like, things are bad right now as far as the pandemic goes.
Yeah.
And like the numbers don't lie at the moment, and things are
Facts, science. We're gonna go with those.
Yep. I have a friend whose like grandmother is I don't know her status right now, but at least like 2 days ago, she had been like sitting in an ER instead of getting admitted to the hospital for something else because the hospitals are all full.
Yeah.
And that's Rhode Island. That's like
Yeah.
that's happening.
That's
And
real. That's scary shit.
yeah, and so anyway, um, I was thinking about like you know hunkering down for the winter,
Mhm.
essentially. And I got a little bit excited because, well, let me tell you why. Because about a year ago, right? About a year ago, almost exactly, you and I had a conversation off air about my goals, and you were like, 100 days could change your life, right? A hundred days could change your life. What do you want to do 100 days from now? You
Yeah.
could be 100 pounds lighter 100 days from now. Like you could do that.
Mhm.
You could make drastic changes in just 100 days. And I thought about it, and you were like, mark that day down on your calendar. Here's the ironic thing that I don't think I ever told you. 100 days from the day that you and I had that conversation was the day the world shut down.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, but 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 it was March 13th or whatever
Yep.
it is. I have it written down. Yeah. So yeah, but I was thinking like, okay, so if it's not going to get warmer again until March right now,
Right.
then we're in this second stretch, and if people can do whatever they want to do. I'm probably not gonna. I haven't gone to a store in 9 months as it is. I'm probably not gonna go out very much at all. And I was like, this is a great opportunity to start saying no to other things and to take that time, because last year, with all of my good intentions, my mom got sick, my dad got sick,
Yeah.
my world fell apart in those 100 days,
Yeah.
and anything could happen, right?
Yes.
Knock on wood. I hope nothing happens, but anything could happen. But we're in this state where it's gonna get colder right now, and we're gonna be forced to spend a lot of time with ourselves. And if there were things that anybody thought back in March, I'm going to use this time, like we've always said, I'm
Mhm.
going to use this time to do some stuff for myself. I think right now,
Oh
is the
yeah.
perfect time to go, hey, by the end of winter, I could be a completely different person if I wanted to be.
Oh,
I
for
could, I
sure.
could, I could learn a language. I could learn an instrument. I could, lose weight. I could gain muscle. I could, create better eating habits. Whatever it is that you want to do, right? So my goal from now until March is to fundamentally change everything. Um,
Like it.
because there's nothing else to do. What are you going to do right now? Like, you can do some things. You can, rebel against best practices and good ideas for how to stay safe, and you can do whatever it is that you have to do and want to do. But for the most part, there's going to be less opportunity for distraction this winter.
Yeah.
So get uncomfortable and spend some time with yourself.
Yeah. Say no to Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Say no to delivery pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Like make the pizza. Like get out some board games, get some puzzles out. Just
Yep.
sit with some music. Like that's one of the reasons I really love my record player, because I'm actually okay just having the TV off in the house and listening to records and talking. Kirsten and I used to use like when there was like power outages as time to play like cards
Yeah.
or Scrabble, and now it's like it's okay. We could just do that on a Friday night. There doesn't have to be a lack of power. We don't have to look at the television every time we're sitting down together.
There was a notebook on the table last couple days ago. there was just a notebook on the table that I was supposed to write something in, and I ended up not needing to write it, but there was just an empty notebook, and Allie and I looked at each other, and we both went, "Ooh, we should play cards soon."
Yeah.
Dave, are you in? No, Dave doesn't like cards, but we're gonna do it, and that's exciting. We're like, I love it. The Braden got video games taken away from him for a week, so he deserved it. But
For those of you listening, that was a whole conversation that just went on in his face.
Anyway, he got video games taken away from him for a week, and for the most part, like it's been wonderful.
Yeah.
And at
Yeah.
least when I've been around, like it's a lot less,
Well, it's productive. You can
it's
teach them,
very
you can
nice.
talk to them, you can interact. Let's hit on this though. I love the goal set. I love the perspective. Have you written this down yet?
No.
All right. Well, you spoke it into the universe, and all of us in the listening world and the video world are going to hold you accountable for it. So that's a big piece of it. But I definitely think you should write it down and be a little bit more finite about it, because the broad stroke of that "I'm going to change everything" goal is huge. Let's break it down into a couple pieces. Add it to the list. I'm going to make another list. and be specific. Like, say, what
I
Atta
deleted
girl.
TikTok and I've read 3 books since. I love it.
Nice, Meg. See, that's amazing what happens when you get rid of some of that. Yeah, write it down. Be finite about it so that you can actually follow it, track it, and be able to achieve it. Like I'm going to purposely get up early enough to meditate and exercise 3 days a week. I'm going to eat more fruits and vegetables than processed foods. I'm going to drink enough water on a daily basis. I'm going to go for 4 walks a week. Like, be specific.
Mm-hmm.
Then it is achievable, because saying I'm going to change everything is not achievable.
At the end of February of this year, wow, this year's been 9 years.
Right.
At the end of February, so obviously January and the beginning of February, like worst time in my life ever, with my parents both being in the hospital. But so I was so drained that the last week and a half of February and the first 2 weeks of March, I basically, any free time that I had, I played video games and binge rewatched New Girl.
I'm sorry.
And but yeah, so I had no reason to, but I did. And just because it was a mindless show to watch, and I was so worn out from the beginning of the year that like I just needed to zone out for about 3 weeks. And I did. And then when the pandemic hit and everybody was talking about like taking it easy and like, all of the like what shows are you going to binge watch and stuff, I was like, oh no, I'm amped up. Like I just rested for 3 weeks. I need to like get up and move.
Yeah.
And then obviously in August with my dad dying, and then like some really big projects coming up that I had to do in August, September, and October, that I had no time to rest and do anything. And for the 3 weeks after we did his funeral on his birthday, I was kind of melancholy, and any free time that I had, like while I was just editing or something, I binge watched Game of Thrones.
Ooh.
And now I'm like, I don't want to watch anything. Like I don't want to. Like I'm back in the mindset of like, okay, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to work. Like I don't want to. It's weird. It was like a reset button both times, and I can't do that for very long. So
we need those reset buttons. We need those reset moments. That piece of this is saying yes to your resets, saying yes to your priorities, and saying no to the things that don't provide you that sustenance and that feed to your inner soul, to who you are. because oftentimes we fill up our brains, it's just mindless TV. Well, if that's the case, then what is it doing for you? Is it deliberate and I'm consciously choosing to watch something mindless so that my brain can actually rest a little bit and I can de-stress? Then good, then use it as such, but use it deliberately and minimally.
Yeah.
Because time flies.
It really does. Megan said you listened to your body and gave it what it needed in the time you needed it. Thanks.
Yes.
Eric said, I know the topic today is say no, but I wanted to say congrats on your I do.
Thank you, Eric.
show us that ring one more time. Ooh.
Black tungsten, koa wood, and abalone.
All right.
I want something different, man. We got married in an island. Koa wood is island wood.
I don't know what any of those words mean.
Tungsten means I can go into the gym and not scratch it. It means it's hardcore. The abalone is there's a couple pieces that are rather meaningful in that. It's a spiritual cleansing. And the koa wood is a hard island wood. It reminds me to be strong in my vows. Honestly, I wanted something that reminded me of the ocean because it's peaceful and reminds me of where we got married over the ocean. Kirst has the most amazing gray blue eyes, and the abalone sparkles like that. And I wanted that to remind me too. And I didn't want just a regular wedding ring. This is not a regular relationship, and it was definitely not a regular wedding. So I didn't want just a normal, boring old wedding ring.
Well.
So I said yes because I said no to a bunch of other stuff. So no to a lot of things in life to be where I am today. And that's what the lesson is today, right? Say no to the things that get in your way. Say no to the things that are not feeding your soul. Say no to the things that keep you from your goals, folks. Say no to the bullshit and the social media if it is taking you away from your life and who you really are. Follow your heart. Wear your masks. Be smart. Stay in touch with your loved ones. Batten down the hatches, folks. Buy your supplies. Buy your card games. Buy your puzzles because they're going to go up in price again. Do you know that? Puzzles like doubled in price over like March.
I'm not surprised.
Oh, it's crazy. It's a crazy world we live in, folks. You get to decide how you live it.
Absolutely.
Live your best life. You deserve it. You really do.
All right, man. Well, where can people find you?
ThriveTrainingTeam.com. Jump on the website. All kinds of links to social media if you want to be there. Otherwise, links to getting help. That's what I'm here for. Go live your best life, folks.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you, Ben. You have a great day, my friend.
I'll
see you soon, buddy.
For more information, tips, and workouts of the day, check out thrivetrainingteam.com.